Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are having a great week and you've been able to do some lovely crafting this week. Here is today's project. Isn't it gorgeous? It's a little bit different in dimension as this one. The finished card is 7¼ by 4 inches. So it's a little bit different, but I thought it looked really nice. I thought it was about time I tried some different sizes. Today I'm all about showing you how you can use your rivets on your cards to make it give you that tag effect and just to add a little bit more dimension and maybe that scrapbook junk journaling effect. This is, you know, all quite random bits and pieces, little bits showing, but I think the overall effect is really effective. So I'm going to show you now how I put it together. I really like from time to time making cards that appear to be a cream card, but I don't have many cream card bases. All the card bases that I have that are cream are quite yellow, so I'm going to show you how I take a white card base and make it appear to be a cream card base, because this is my card that I'm going to do. And if I didn't make it look like a cream card base, what would happen is I would put these layers on, and can you see I've got cream and pink and then white, and there's just too many colours. So instead of using my good quality card to make a card base, I just do a faux front and put it on like that. That's where we're going to with this one. So this is an unusual size. It is a card topper. This is my card topper of 6¾ inches by 3½ inches. It's not quite what you call a DL, because a DL is double the length from the width. So if I've got 3½, a DL, that would be 7 inches, but I've only gone up to 6¾ inches. But I like to make my own sizes. I take a pre-made 7-inch square envelope and trim it down. That's how I would get away with this. So the other thing I wanted to do is I also wanted to get to use my nice shiny new crop-a-dile. Now if any of you saw me on HobbyCraft TV this last weekend, you'll have seen me demonstrating this. Now wasn't that a surprise? I wasn't expecting to pop up on there, and I'm sure you weren't either. That all happened very quickly, but it was so much fun. It was lovely to be back on the big screen. So this is why I've made this card, because I want to do it with this. So let's put that to one side for a minute. I just want to show you, I've just used some linen cardstock that I got from Amazon. I'll put a link to it. It's a really nice linen cardstock, and as you can see, it's not a yellow, it's just off-white, which is what I really like. So as I mentioned, I have a card base, and my card base is 7¼ by 4 inches. So 7¼ there, 4 inches that way. But I didn't want it to be white. So I've taken another piece of card, exactly the same size. You can see it's exactly the same size. And I'm going to put it over the top. And I just love the effect that this creates. So let's just get our pin flare glue. And we can put that over here. Can you hear that when I go over with the glue? It's a slight texture on the back. And we can pop that onto there. So give it a tap in all directions to make sure it fits. So I can't see any of the white sticking out, but also I'm not seeing any of the cream coming through. You can always get your stamp pressure tool and just run over that. So I go from the middle out to the corners and out to the edges, and that just takes any glue that's in the middle and slides it out to the edges. So that's that one. Then I'm going to pop on a piece of, now this is linen textured cardstock, but it's a very light linen. It's hardly linen, which is what I quite like. So we're going to pop that on next. We're not going to have many mats and layers on this. And we're going to pop that on to there, like that. So let's get my cloth, because I can see a little bit of glue seeping out, and then we can just roll that round. But again, by using a wet glue rather than a dry glue being things like your tapes, it just means that I can move things around if I need to. Now this is going to be my matte layer, and as I said, it's 6¾ by 3½ inches. Now I wanted to just put a few little ink splats on, so I have done it in advance just to show you. All I do is I get my paint station that you've seen me use before, which is just an A4 box, and then I'll take this out. I put that into there. I'll show you on here, and then all I do, give this a shake, lift that out, and then I just get my pokey tool and I tap away. I love the effect that you get with that. You can go with different colours, you can, do as many as you want, but you then need to let that dry. So that is why I've done this in advance. I've got my paint station away, I'm going to need that in a minute. And that is going to go on to my card base. And I think I might do a little bit of foam tape on here. I haven't decided, but just looking at that, I've just decided I will. Sticks to foam every time. It's perfect for this. It's a nice firm foam tape. I always like to go up and down my card with the first piece. So let's just put that on there like that. I think 3 is going to be enough on this because, as we said, it's not very wide at all. So we can put that onto there. There we go. So we can put that on. So if anybody didn't see the show on HobbyCraft TV where I was demonstrating for We R Makers, and I'll also be doing some American craft ones, then you can find the shows by going onto YouTube and looking up HobbyCraft TV. I'll be back on HobbyCraft TV on the 9th of October. But the great thing is with the HobbyCraft shows is they are repeated quite a lot. It's a very new channel, so they do repeat quite a few of the shows. Right, there we go. That looks perfect. If you wanted to, you can, as I often do, just grab my stamping platform, pop that over the top, and just leave that to set. So that's perfect. You can just see that out the corner. Okay, so we need to make something to use my crop-a-dile. Isn't that gorgeous in the rose gold? If you're still after it, then please go on to HobbyCraft TV and you will find it on there. You also got 3 packs of the washers and the words have gone out of my mind, the little poppet things. Yeah, I'll remember the words in a minute. Wow, I'm good at selling, aren't I? So all I've done is I've cut another piece of pink, and then I've got some of this. Isn't this really pretty? It's a piece of tissue paper. When I went to Germany, if you've been watching, you remember I went to Germany in May with my daughter, and I went into just a lovely little arty craft shop, and I got some tissue paper. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I've just ripped out a piece of that, and then I have stamped onto here. Now I have done this with a Sizzix stamp. Oops, I've just dropped that bit. This is the Sizzix stamp set. Let's get it the right way around. I don't think it's got a name, but you can see, be kind to yourself, hello friend, positivity is a choice, wishing you joy, just wanted to say thank you. But I like the positivity choice because it's nice and long. It's like a, it's got that length to it. So yeah, you'll be able to find lots. I'm sure you've got a sentiment stamp somewhere. If you haven't, then how about finding a single word in a die and putting that on too. Now, because this was texture card, I tried doing it on the textured side and it didn't work. I'd rather tell you that now. It didn't work because of the texture. Can you see it went a little bit smudgy? So all I did was I turned it over and stamped it on the back. Now the colour is exactly the same, but it's without the texture and it works really well. So I'm going to pop those onto there. So I'm just going to grab myself, I'm going to make life easy for myself because that's what I like to do. And I'm going to get a piece of tape and I'm just going to make sure I've got this where I want it, and I'm just going to run that piece of tape across there, and that's just going to hold everything in place. It's low tack tape, so it'll come off. Now the great thing about this is I can punch holes in 1/8 or 3/16. I'm going to do the 3/16, so I need to just open up my crop-a-dile. So these two here punch the holes, and these ones here put your rivets in. That was the word I was looking for, rivets. It came to me when I stopped thinking. Now what I can also do is work out where I'm going to put this. So I want to put the hole 1/2 inch from the top. Let me just see if that's going to be enough. Is that going to be enough? Oh, I think that's going to be perfect. So I just move my little bumper bar up to the 1/2 inch, or if I prefer it in centimetres, it's like, what's that? 1¼ centimetres in, but I like inches, so it's 1/2 inch, and I just pop it in there, pop it up to the bumper so I know where I am, find the centre, and go through 3 layers. I promise you that cuts as if there was nothing in the way. Now when you get your instructions, it'll tell you what all the different heads are. So I know that on the top, look, little picture of a top, I need this one because that's going to push it in, and then on the bottom I need this side, which is going to splay the back. So let's go with one of these nickel coloured ones, I think. There we go. Oops. Now you can also use the washers that you get as well. They just make the back tidier, but this is going to be stuck down, so I'm not going to put a washer on. It's actually harder to demonstrate it on camera with a washer on. It's easy when I'm doing it, oops, sorry, rattling that. Easy when I'm doing it off camera because I can put it wherever I want it to be. So all I do is I put my rivet in from the top, and then I put my crop-a-dile on, so I just go through the hole, and then I just squeeze it tight. Squeeze. You can feel a little bit of resistance, but that's to be expected because we've got metal. Now there we go. Squeeze it nice and tight. That looks really, really good. So all I need to do is lock up my crop-a-dile, and it's there. It's safe. No one's going to accidentally hurt themselves on this. Now remember, these are really, really powerful tools, so just be careful with them. So I'm going to grab this pink twine. Just cut myself off a piece. I lost my scissors for a minute there. There we go. And I'm just going to poke this through the hole, through there, bring it round. If you go front to back, you get a nice little loop at the front. So then all you need to do is just adjust it to where you want it to be. We can put that, bring that down. Come on, tighten up, there we go. And what I often do, just to stop it unravelling, is just to put a little bit of glue. Now remember, things like your pin flare glue or your bookbinding glue will all dry clear, so that's not a problem. So I made a little bit of a hash of that, but never mind, it'll dry clear when it's finished. Come on, stick that down. Right, okay, so now we need to decorate this. I think I might put it onto the card base. I'm going to take that tape off. So this, look at that, really lovely tag. It's much neater than just pushing a hole through with your with your pokey tool, which is what I would have done in the past. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to pop it on the top of my card. I love this because it's all quite free moving, isn't it? Really, really pretty. Let's do that with a little bit of foam tape again. I think I need 2 pieces. So you'll see I've also put some little bits of pink splats on there as well, which works perfectly. And this is just the pickled raspberry from the Distress Oxide. So let's put a piece of tape there. A piece. Now you could have this quite loose on your card base if that's what you wanted to, and if you wanted to do that, then just put some tape at the top. Let's put that spare piece. Got a piece of hair. There we go. Right, so always burnish down before you try to peel off the back, and then it peels off a lot easier, she says, without burnishing it down. Take that one off. There we go. As soon as you burnish it down, it's just so much easier. I don't need to put any PVA glue on there because I can just see by eye where I want that to be. There we go. I'm loving that so far. Now I've cut this out of cream. So I've just used a piece of Cut Tidy. If ever you have a die that struggles to cut, Cut Tidy is a plastic wallet. Let me just get rid of these bits and then I can show you. I've trimmed this piece down. It's a piece of plastic, and did you notice I put my cardstock in the middle, I put my die on the outside, and it didn't cut through, but then it just cuts absolutely perfectly, and I've got no punching out to do. It's all the bits have come out. It looks gorgeous. So I thought I might put that on under here. Just thought that might look quite nice. Just poking out. It's just little bits to be seen. So can't see a lot of it, but that's absolutely fine. Let's just put a little bit of glue under there. Just adds to the interest. Tiny bit of glue. And we can pop that under there, coming out the bottom. And the other thing I did was I twirled some of the twine, the same twine, around a card and just tied it. So I've got lots of little loops, and I thought I could just pop that on here as well. And I think I might use a little bit of 3D glue for that. So I can just pop a little bit of 3D glue. You can see I've got a little bit of glue to hold that knot in. I think I need my tweezers, not those tweezers, these tweezers. And I'm just going to pop that underneath there. So that just makes that we've got the twine at the top and the bottom. It's just a little bit of something to be. And then I have used, again, this is what I keep saying about going into your craft stash. I've been in and I found these from Tattered Lace. This is the edge to edge large chrysanthemum die, and I've cut this out of the pink, which I think looks really lovely, so much texture. And I've also, you can see because it's jumping in, I've used this die set. Now I do link to this die set, and it's just from Amazon, but I will warn you, you need something like your cut tidy to get it to cut. It's not the best at cutting. As soon as you've got cut tidy, it cuts beautifully. So let's use a couple of these. I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. Let's just use a couple of these like that, I think. Let's put a little bit of glue on here, and let's tuck those. Let's go under the tissue paper for this one. There we go. And I might, and then this one can come on here, and then we might just put this one off here. And I don't think we need any more, and I'm going to now, I know I said about it being freestanding, but I'm going to actually just pin that down. Doesn't that look gorgeous? A little bit different. And then all I'm going to do, move everything out of the way, I'm going to grab my little tray. I'm going to get my, just get a sheet underneath. And then I've got my bleed proof white. I love this. It's just like an acrylic paint, but the great thing about it is it doesn't bleed, and it just works really, really well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of this. You can see it's very thick. It's too thick to be splatting. So I just put it onto the lid, and I can always get a little squirt of water, and then dilute it down, and then just do some white splats all over. And the white splats show up really well on the cream card. There we go. And that's all I need to do. Let me drop that into some water, and then those bits will just go back in. So I found these ones. Let's have a look. Take this out. I'm going to have to be careful because that bit of white is still very wet, but I can have a look and see. I think these ones would work. Let's use the gem pickup tool. Just put a couple of these on my project. Just dotted around. Put one up there. Oops, level with that. Put that one there. And then one more just down there. There you go. 1s, 3s and 5s. Always 1s, 3s and 5s. There we are. And that is my card. I wanted to make a card that was a little bit different in dimensions. I wanted to be able to do it in white, but I also wanted to be able to use this gorgeous tissue paper. I've just seen where I left the whole sheet. As you can see, this is how it came. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, it is tissue paper, isn't it? Really, really nice. Again, you will find your supplies in the most unusual places, and just, you know, one day they will get used. Oh, this one's turned around a little bit. I've lost that one in there. There we go. Come back out. There we are. how about that? Just a hint of our autumn leaves, really works. And then you can add that on like that. Ooh, my string's disappearing. Let's just see if I can bring that a bit more visible. See, I'm always tweaking. There we go. There we are. And that is how it's finished. I really like that. That's just a little bit different for today. Oh, I did tell you what, it is nearly finished, but I just need to trim that thread. It's a little bit long, isn't it? Let's just trim it to about there. There we are, that looks better. You forget these things sometimes. And how about that? I hope you like that. I hope you've been able to pick up a few tips and tricks along the way of fun things that you can do to add to your card. But I wanted to show you how you can use things like your rivets on your tags, on your cards. They don't have to be traditional tags if you don't want them to be. And there is where we're going to leave it. So as always, I'll put a link on the left to either another video or a playlist, and a link on the right to my subscribe button. And if you can subscribe, that would be amazing. I would love you to join my crew and see what I've got to bring you in the future. But until then, my crafty friends, please don't forget to click on the links in the description down below, and I will leave you. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.